Hey, David. I'm doing that right now. Yeah. I'm gonna test it out.
I charged up a lot just. Oh, I missed it real. I charged up a lot just in case. But I gotta try.
All right, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Making sure we're A-OK on the audio before we get started. Sounds okay so far. All right, guys, we're gonna get started. If you have any questions on the weather for the next several days into the weekend, July 4th is next Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, next Tuesday. So we wrap up June on Friday, and then July starts this weekend. And great news, things should start to cool down a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. So improvements are on the way. Meantime, take a look at the month so far in review. The first couple of days of June wasn't that bad. From the 1st to the 7th, temperatures were actually below the normal. But notice, as we've progressed through this last several 3-week time frame, starting on the 9th, it just started to crank up and really climb. As a result, the heat wave really produces very dangerous temperatures. I mean, at this time of year, June, July, August is typically what happens. And starting on June 9th, that's when temperatures really started to climb. And last week, we hit 105 3 days in a row. And we've been at 104 since yesterday. So today and yesterday, official high temperatures at San Antonio International were 104 degrees. It looks like we'll be near that tomorrow. So get ready. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. But again, as we move into July, it looks like the pattern is going to change just a little bit, which should help with heat and open the door for rain chances in the forecast. Okay, let's talk about this right here. So we talked about the heat, right? Triple-digit heat. Pretty bad, right? And with today's high temperature of 104, that marks the 10th day so far this year at 100 plus. And on the left side of your screen, right over on the other side of the screen, it shows you the amount of days in the top 5 record years, right? So back in 2009, San Antonio hit 100 plus, 59 days, which is in first place. Last year, we almost tied it. We hit 58. We were just 1 day shy last year. And again, a bulk of this does happen in the summertime. We've seen triple-digit heat as early as February and as late as like November. But most of this heat really occurs in the summertime months. And we're only at 10 right now, but keep in mind, summer just started last week officially. And July is around the corner, and so is August, and that is typically the hottest time of year. Speaking of hot, it is 100 degrees out the door right now. It's almost 9 o'clock. That is incredible. The amount of humidity that's in place, it's not, as high as it was last week, but this humid pattern, temperatures don't cool off or heat up that fast, which is why we're still in the triple digits at 8:50 at night. Again, if you have any questions, guys, feel free to comment down below. We'll be talking about everything going forward and any changes on the way, which, by the way, looks like by Tuesday and Wednesday next week, which is July 4th and the 5th, looks like we could see some changes and even the chance for rain. Hopefully, cross your fingers. All right, this is incredible. There's a lot of hundreds on the map, as you can see, between Floresville, Stockdale, Moore, Bandera. 91 at Bernie, 100 in San Antonio. Same thing at Lackland. So this is incredible heat, again, at 8:51 at night. Zooming out, it's still 107 at Pearsall, Cotulla, 86 at Hallettsville, 107 at Del Rio. So anywhere, southwest of Bexar County, it's more of that dry heat. They still get a little bit of humidity, but when you move farther west towards the Rio Grande and northern Mexico, you typically pick up on drier heat and less humidity, but even at that, it still feels like 100 outside anywhere you really go. Hill country, not terrible, but still in the middle 90s for heat index values or the feels like temperatures at this hour. 8 more minutes until the heat advisory expires for all counties for the most part. I believe same thing for West Texas and our southern counties. Let me just double check with that real quick. Until 9 o'clock tonight. Yes, perfect. So I'll erase that. So yeah, would not be surprised if this just stays in place. It does expire at 9 o'clock, but the thing is, with tomorrow on the way and even Friday as well, it looks like, you know, this heat's not going anywhere for the next couple days. So we'll likely have heat advisories / excessive heat warnings in effect probably through tomorrow and through Thursday and Friday as well. So again, it's the pattern we're in. It's locked in, and it doesn't switch and change up until likely Sunday and Monday of next week. And we're not in it alone. Notice anywhere from West Texas, Dallas, Central Texas, towards Louisiana and Mississippi and Arkansas, the heat is really dangerous. You can see pink and orange everywhere you go. Which is just basically where the high is parked over. Whenever it's right overhead is what it does, and it's right over pretty much Corpus Christi and Houston, which is leading to a lot of sinking air here in San Antonio and across the region, which is why dangerous heat is going to be the theme and just the trend for the next several days. Okay, tonight's forecast, we stay at 100 degrees right now. We'll drop to about 96, probably around 9:30, which is the next 10 to 15 minutes. By 10:30, it's still 90 degrees, so it doesn't really cool off dramatically until late at night and early in the morning, which, by the way, tomorrow's morning low is around 76 to 78, which is above average, but that's the coolest we'll be in the entire 24-hour period, so enjoy it while you can. Do anything you can outdoors, like mow the lawn, any lawn work, maintenance, anything outdoors, exercise, walking the dog in the morning or in the late evening hours, because in between 1 p.m. and 7 p.m., it gets up to 100, 205, and it is really dangerous, especially for this time of year. So here's the setup. We have a ridge that's rotating clockwise right over Houston, Corpus Christi, San Antonio, Louisiana. You can kind of see the spin in the atmosphere, right? This ridge of high pressure, it spins clockwise. And when that does, it provides a lot of subsidence or sinking air, and when air sinks in the atmosphere, it dries fast, and that's what kind of causes it to heat up dramatically. And on top of that, it's creating a lot of dry air. So the air is dry, it's clear, it's sunny, no cloud cover to keep us cooler, and then plus humidity at the surface rolling in from the Gulf. It just leads to a very dangerously hot weather pattern that's in place for the next several days through at least Friday and Saturday. Now watch this. As I put this into motion, the timestamp is in the upper right-hand corner. It's not until Sunday that the heat high, backs off, moves farther east, and takes the edge off the heat. Now, we'll see what happens in the long range, but it looks like between Sunday and July 5th through the holiday, it should cool off a little bit. Now, forecast highs are not cool by any means, by any stretch of the imagination, but it is cooler than what we've been enduring these last 3 weeks, as you saw on that calendar graphic. So good news, it should break down briefly, hopefully long term, but again, we're approaching July, which is one of the hottest months of the year. But notice, as we move into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rain chances start to spike. Not a lot, and you'll see this forecast model is a little aggressive. It says some pretty good storms on Wednesday, but we'll see if that comes to fruition. But anyway, whenever the high moves out, and that opens the door for increased rain chances. Not going to be a lot, but at least it changes things up in the long range, and that's what we like to see. Okay, July 4th on the 7-day forecast. Next Tuesday, partly cloudy, 96 is what we're going for. That probably change in the next coming days as we get more data in. But tomorrow, 102 to 104, depending on where you're at in the metro and across the region. And then triple digits through Saturday, and then backing off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And while rain is just very slim, it is there and it enters the forecast, which is what we like to see. Isolated showers, but not a slam dunk, not expecting a washout on July 4th. But that's the theme, that's the trend. High moving out and rain moving in, and so does cloud cover, and that'll help keep and give us some shade and hopefully some cooler temperatures. So that is the forecast, guys. How much cooler could it get? Yeah, just a few degrees, Alan. Not a whole lot of cooler, air. It's just a brief cool down. From 104 today and yesterday to about 96 next week. So that's about 8 degrees. Again, not significant, but to some, that is significant, right? Overnight low 70s, highs in the 90s, as opposed to the triple digits. So again, average this time of year, especially in early July, is about 93, 94. Today we are at 104, 10 degrees above normal. And then next week will be a little cooler. Again, trending closer to the normal values we see this time of year. So, again, we have some good news and hopefully some rain next week, but don't hold your breath on it. We're awaiting the first major cold front of the season. Hopefully, Catula. Hopefully, yeah. You know, based on like data, first cold fronts don't roll until like October. They have rolled in like as early as late September, but between now and like mid-September, it's typically the hottest time of year. So, you know, hopefully we change things up in the next 10 days, and hopefully this does come to fruition as we have some cooler air by next week. When is the high moving away? Yeah, probably about Sunday is when it moves away and breaks down and moves farther east. And that'll allow the door to open for just slim chances for rain and temperatures to trend back down near normal. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But again, that's the forecast. We'll put it full screen and take this off. There we go. And bada bing, bada boom. All right, yeah, July 4th by next Tuesday. In the meantime, you know, take breaks, drink plenty of water, stay hydrated. Find shade, do everything you can to endure this heat because tomorrow will be dangerously hot, likely a heat advisory coming again from the Weather Service. And would not be surprised if Thursday and Friday were in that criteria. I do think heat index values will still be pretty high, like in the 105 to maybe 110 region, which would prompt the Weather Service to at least put the heat advisory back into play, but we'll see what happens. By the end of the work week, first day of July, Saturday, it'll feel very summer-like, 100 degrees as temperatures trend back down by the end of the weekend. We'll leave this on a little longer, guys, but for now, be safe, drink plenty of water, and have a wonderful Tuesday night. Tomorrow will just be just as hot, 102 to 104, as temperatures cool down by the end of the forecast period, primarily into early July. We'll see if that comes into play, but yeah, it's looking better. It's looking a lot better.